125th, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Orlando, Indianapolis, Houston, and now,
Yeah.
Black Ink Radio.
I will be one of the greatest, that is of all, yeah, that is a promise. Always wanted to be famous, just being real, yeah, just being honest. My haters gon' always be nameless, give them no clout, I give them no power. Creators but different, they ancient, sooner than later, all will be ours. I keep an eye out for the numbers, I stay in contact, synchronization. To infinity, even beyond it, I am a comet, no destination. A lot of things I am above, and there are a lot of things that are above me. Do not come for the people I love, cause then I get scary, then I get ugly, yeah. Ain't no problem when I'm no equation. Presence, no deep observation. I'm no new here, reborn creation. Come and find me, sending location. Ain't no problem when I'm no equation. Presence, no deep observation. I'm no new here, reborn creation. Come and find me, sending location. Enlightened, they call me a siren. Don't ever receive my guidance. Don't keep it all in, no fighting. Fire to a flame ignited. Rules make me more defiant, and I won't ever be compliant. Yeah, I got it down to a science. It's so much more than a mindset. Gotta start right now, gotta change it. Yeah, take it all back, reclaim it. Don't bite your tongue, just say it. Don't get too high, say wait it. Yeah, time to break down the matrix. They know that the mind can play tricks. Their message is clear, it's blatant, it's blatant. Whoa. Hey, 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 I will be one of the greatest, that is of all, yeah, that is a promise. That is a promise. Always wanted to be famous, just being real, yeah, just being honest. I wish that it was always said and done before. Oh, I don't know when chaos became my core. For if I give another lie, I swear it's only that I know that nothing is there. Know that in my sorrow you found my pain. I'm looking back, I noticed we're not the same. You were caught in oceans and sea moss and waves. You had no shore, you had no name. Feeling like I'm far from sober. Dark heaviness is taking over. And when you put your hands on my shoulder, everything got a little colder. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah. You pulled my strings, Pinocchio. You held me up, but I will not hold. I thought the world was in our hands. Now I know, now I understand. You were my scarecrow, hidden to the things I know. I thought I saw an opening, I thought I saw gold, but it was just a mold or something so old. Feeling like I'm far from sober. Dark heaviness is taking over. And when you put your hands on my shoulder, everything got a little colder. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. What more could it be? Angels in their eyes, haunted by the sea with these that look like I. What more could it be? Angels in their eyes, haunted by the sea with things that look like Pinocchio.
Peace and blessings, beautiful people. It's your girl, High Heels. Not for the shoes, but for the healing of energy, the teleportation of higher vibrations. Get with it. You are listening to Oracle Connect live on Black Ink Radio. So I wanted to open with that song because I don't know if you know about her, but she had this amazing song that just went viral. And then all of a sudden, this Asian guy did a retake of it or a remake of it, and Instagram completely wiped her off of it. So any person that wanted to use that song for a reel, how does it sound? Because I can't hear myself. Okay. But any person that wanted to use that for a reel, you could only use the Asian man's. Like when I tried to use that song for real, I had to go back and make my own video. And I wanted to play that song too because I feel like that is indicative of what we go through right now. Like that open enemy always wants to see something in us that is beautiful and take it, and then take it for their own. But then all of the things that are ugly, all the things that are dismissive, all the things that don't build us and that are not something that is positive is what they promote of us. And like that woman, her song was so beautiful. Like that was like the most motivating moment when I first tapped into that. So I wanted to open with that.
Yeah, the song is dope. I like it.
Yeah, like it, both the first and the second, because that was what that Pinocchio was like. That was why she, well, I won't say that's why she, but that was what I interpreted. Because, you know, Pinocchio, you lie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like all the lies that they tell us, like the many lies they tell us. And when even when we're going through right now with the media and how the social media or how the media is portraying us, it's like, why do y'all constantly want to put the ugliness of us out, and you take the beautiful parts and then you take the beauty and you make it for your own, you know? So
but they've been doing that from the beginning, you know, when they used to, when we used to make music, basically our music was only played for us, and then they would have like a different race redo the whole thing, and then that's what the mainstream got. You know? Yes.
Yeah. And that's been happening for a long time. That's why, you know, this episode that I had made, I actually first made this. We were supposed to do this like a couple weeks ago. And so much stuff has happened since then, and I'm like, I don't know if it's still relevant, but it is.
It's always gonna be relevant.
It's still relevant, and it's getting even deeper right now. So before we get started into that, I'm gonna start off doing a recap of the FBA Rally for Reparations. So this past weekend, I went to DC for the FBA Rally for Reparations. It was hosted by Brother Tariq Nasheed, and then co-hosted by Jade Linus Crown, and it was amazing. It was so many different speakers. It was who was there? The brother Raheem Shabazz, who's been on the show, friend to the show. Raheem Shabazz was interviewed. Greg Marcel Dixon was there. He is a congressman for North Carolina. Tez, I can't remember her last name now, which is terrible. Figueroa, Tez Figueroa. Okay, so look, I didn't know who she was, right? So I'm like, who is this? But she come with a certain type of energy, like it's big energy. So when she get on the stage, what I love is because she came with her army pants on, you know what I'm saying, with her boots on, talking that talk. But she was like, I need someone with at least two felonies to deal with me, or at least a felony that you could deal with me. Wow. But she's a political strategist though. Okay. So, you know, don't get it wrong, don't get it twisted. She's still gonna help you get in the game and teach you. She has something called Push the Line. So it's to teach you, to train you to get yourself out there and be, you know, a politician or be into government and really make moves. So she was there. Who else was there? Boyce Watkins, he spoke. Of course, Professor James Small, the Baba James Small was there. So it was a lot of different speakers. I hope I didn't forget anybody that was important. I know I have a habit of forgetting people.
Yeah, I want to do that.
And then they be like, she trying. I'm not. But, you know, so altogether it was good. I came across a group, so I went out into the crowd. That was my motive, was I'm going to have my boots to the ground. I'm going to see who's there, what's everybody think, because I'm not FBA. I just really found out what FBA was at the beginning of this year. Right. So a foundational Black American, which means that your lineage had to have been here, I think, by 1865, or you had to have been involved in slavery. Both sides of your family, or at least one side of your family has had to be involved in slavery. So I'm not a foundational Black American. But I wanted to get into audience. I wanted to see who was there. And my thing was whoever, like, typically if people are dressed up, like, they there for a reason. You know, when you at a sports game and it's somebody who's all got their sports gear on, you know they passionate.
They about to play. Yeah.
They about to do something. So I see this group of people. And I'm like, yo, one of them was like, you know, a couple of them looked like that Mortal Kombat character. And they was all dressed up in uniform. They had canes. So I was like, okay, let me go see who these people are. And it was the Watchmen for Israel. Look, you know, when you start off asking a question and then all of a sudden you realize, like, wow.
What did I just do?
It was like, okay.
Those are the guys that be on 125th in New York.
You know what? Probably so.
You know where they dress them same outfits you talking about?
Yes. Okay.
It's the Israelites.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, they are. They're Hebrew Israelites, but those aren't the Hebrew Israelites I know. Like, I know the ones like the Queen of Fool ones, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't know them. So see, why does everybody know this and I didn't know this? I mean, but
I didn't know that they like I didn't know that they had different views and values, because Queen of Fool is she with the reparations thing?
I don't know. I really don't know.
That's something to research now, huh?
Yeah. Now I'm like, I don't know. But it was, I mean, I would say that a part of it, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because they were saying, really what they came with was the scripture. Like, every answer was like, I'm not trying to be funny, y'all. No disrespect. I just ain't never seen nothing like it to that extent. But it was like, every answer was like, hit him with Joshua 25. And then someone come up to the microphone and then start reading from the Bible. And then I asked another question. He's like, hit him with Daniel. Come with the Daniel. And then it's just, they
knew it.
Yeah.
They know the Bible.
And he's just going back and forth. He's like, and then what he say? And then he read it. And he's like, and then he did this. And then it was over the top. Like, I didn't realize it was 17 minutes long, but that's how much I was just like in a deer in headlights. Like, I don't know if I should stop this or not. But
that's funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious. But then again, I did get some negative feedback from people that were proponents of reparations and proponents of the rally, and was like, why did you let them speak? Like, as soon as you heard them say they wasn't for reparations, you should have cut them off. And what I have to say to that is that what we are dealing with right now, what we are talking about with this anti-Semitic public buck breaking of our men, we are being censored. So why would I act like the open enemy and censor another person? Right. Like, I'm journalism, I'm media. So my place is not to have an opinion. The only opinion I will have is against that open enemy. That's the only opinion that you will hear me take a stance on. Other than that, I'm impartial. You know what I'm saying? My point is to just let people see what was here, and they were part of what was there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, if I was to say, oh, he not for what we here for, let me just cut you off. Like, sorry, never mind, you're not for reparations, I gotta go. That's exactly what they do to us. Why would I mimic that? Why would I ever be that? And
that's not why you went.
No, I didn't.
People are never gonna like journalists because everybody wants their agenda to be the one that's pushed. Mm-hmm. The thing is, you get mad when they push theirs, but then you think it's okay to push yours. If what you're saying is right and you have all rights to say it, then you should always let both sides speak. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be a problem. Talk all you want, because you're not gonna sound right. If I'm right, then you ain't gonna sound right. Mm-hmm. But sometimes when people don't want you to speak, is because they might sound right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I mean, the only thing I will say is that in the future, you know, if you've seen that there's a group of people that have gotten together for this cause, like, for you to kind of create your own little rally back there to be a proponent of it, or not, I'm sorry, to be an opposition of it, that was a little much. Okay, you know, I get that. Like, bruh, you know, like, let's redress our grievances somewhere else, because we always have to remain a unified front, at least. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But, you know, to each his own. But overall, though, I tapped into a lot of cool people. It actually reminds me of what Brother Nori was talking about in our live stream for on NOI.org on Sunday. He was saying that, you know, there's a good distinction between unification and being united. And I believe in us being united. Unification means that we're all going to be the same. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he's like, but no, like, we don't have to be the same, but we still need to be united.
That's because unification comes from uniform. not united. Those are just two different words.
Yes.
And it has two different stems. It's a stem. The stem is not from the same.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I feel like, at the end of the day, we are all still one melanated people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to be on the same side of an argument, but in the front lines, in the eyes of this open enemy, we must be united because they see that as weakness, and that's how they go for us. Because part of what they were saying though is right. We are the original Hebrews, like we are. Now I don't know why you came there. Look, whatever you do, what you want to do on that end.
Right.
That's not my business. That's not my business. Was just to see what y'all talking about, and I heard what y'all was talking about, and it was entertaining. But I think that where we are right now in this place and space and time. Like, we just don't have time to argue with each other in front of nobody because we already have a public mental lynching going on right now with our men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on with Kyrie, what's going on with Kanye, and now they done jumped from Kanye to Kyrie. Kyrie Irving, that bruh has been going through it from
definitely
like from the jab and not getting the jab and standing firm in that. And then now y'all trying to tell this man to publicly apologize for a documentary that he didn't create. But there's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, like
I never knew what the problem was.
So he posted comments about a documentary. It's Hebrews to Negroes, and I haven't watched it yet. But it's a lot of talking about how we are the original Hebrews, right?
Right.
And so I guess some of the viewpoints in that they feel are anti-Semitic. It's a lot of going on.
Yeah, I got you. I'm about to text you.
Yeah. But so a lot of those points they feel are anti-Semitic. I haven't watched it, so I can't really speak on the documentary. But, I think that if they constantly want to silence us when we speak of history, that's the problem I have. Because even when it comes to like the Ghana, my dad's from Ghana. So his tribe is Ghana Adame, right? So
Right.
I'm Ghana. It's like 10% of Ghana are Ga. Most of them speak Twi. We speak Ga. Now, my actual tribe does come from ancient Israel.
Right.
So we really are Hebrews. Like, so anybody who is in Atlanta and y'all are Ga, and I know a few, even the Bachis, I know the Bachis are Ga. Like, our people really do come from Israel. We really do derive from Israel and our Hebrews. So if someone was to tell me that I'm anti-Semitic for saying that, I would be like offended, like, but that's history. Like that's reality. And so we're dealing with a lot of that with Kyrie Irving. I can't even believe that he's being persecuted like that when it's like, but what about Jeff Bezos? What about Amazon where you're purchasing it from? Like, what about the people that made it? Like, you're just making him kind of like what's the word?
Scapegoat.
A scapegoat, right. And then you have like Shaq, who's not supportive. You've got, Charles Barkley's always been a coon anyway.
Everybody's going at him right now.
But for what? Like, are you serious?
Because they like I seen a post about it. I didn't know what he said, but I seen a post where they was like, they said Damon Wayans. Did you see that joke? It said Damon Wayans was ahead of his time when he said, whenever something bad when something goes bad. Because he was talking about being a millionaire. He said you got to be careful when you become a millionaire. He said whenever something goes bad, they just put the rich nigga on TV and make him say something. You know what I'm saying? And he said, and it just sounds like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes. It was like, because they want, you want to keep that money, you better speak up.
Yes,
and then they integrated his stand-up, because the stand-up is like from early 90s or the 80s when he said this. And they integrated. They said, so sir, what do you think about blah, blah, blah? And then they skipped to Shaq. And Shaq was like, man, that dummy, he shouldn't have. Like, and then they said, oh, okay, and what do you think about it? And they showed somebody else. So they were integrating the questions, because the questions he was asking was actually relevant to exactly what they asked these other niggas. Yes. And these dudes is acting like, y'all, instead of standing up for him saying, look, that this ain't right, they scared to lose their status. Yeah. So they calling him names. It's funny because they all called him a similar name, which means that these people probably told him, call him this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because why y'all in separate interviews and separate times and separate parts of the world calling him the same name? Like, like that dummy. Like, why are you calling him names for having an opinion? You feel me?
Yo,
It's
I mean, it ain't even have an opinion. It's standing firm in what you believe in.
Right.
Like, and he's like, I didn't make the documentary.
Right. I didn't do this.
Like, what else y'all want from me? And have you seen some of the demands? I think they recanted the demands, but they had demands for him. It was like, hold on, let me find the demands because I don't want to speak out of turn. But
what kind of demand? What could y'all be demanding from this guy?
they want, because they said that his apology was not enough. I guess they wanted him to really kowtow. You know how they do. They want to emasculate our men. Actually, the episode we did end up doing, I was gonna talk about the Willie Lynch indoctrination, and this is exactly what that is. And even though a lot of people, it's a lot of controversy because people don't know if it was actually a real document. They don't know if it was a real speech. But the indoctrination is very real because it talks a lot. Actually, you know what? I do want you to play some of those clips. Can you play like the first clip? And I'll lead up to it. But it was me reading portions of the Willie Lynch letter, and the purpose of the indoctrination, because if the backstory is that, or what the legend is, or what the backstory is, that there was a slave owner who he had a plantation in the West Indies, and they called him over to Virginia to speak about how he kept his slaves in order, because in the West Indies, that's like sugarcane and stuff. That's really labor intensive, and it's really hard to keep people in line to deal with such hard crops. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, wow, how do you keep your people in order? And a lot of what he was saying was that it's about the mental slavery. It's about getting them in a psychologically dependent state. And it talked about separating the man from the household. It talked about getting the black woman to be psychologically and mentally independent, right? And without the man. And then how she is going to now breed the children. And then so she's going to indoctrinate the children. And then so they were saying, I'm going to put it, I think I read that on the clip. If you want to bring up the clip.
I'm ready.
Yeah, go ahead. Bring up the clip so then we can talk about it.
By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state. She will raise her male and female offsprings in reversed roles. She will teach her female offspring to be like herself, independent and negotiable. The nigger male offspring she will leave frozen with a subconscious fear for his life, will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak, but physically strong. It is no economic good for the nigger to be in their wild or natural state. We must pay attention to the female savage and her offspring for orderly future planning. Reversing the positions of the male and female savages, we created an orbiting cycle that returns on its own cycle forever. Maintain body over mind. Now, in a few years, when these two offsprings become fertile for early production, we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good, sound, and long-range comprehensive planning. The dumbing down of the mind. The attraction to the physical, and the perpetual cycle of the female being negotiable and the male having no focus and no guide.
They want to look at me throw some money too on top of the girls. It's power, money, power. I can throw this money on her ass. I don't give a about this money. It's just the fact that I can throw money on a person and she likes it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just threw money on your ass and you love it. It's a rush.
Man, okay. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So everything I said, that was in the Willie Lynch indoctrination. That was in the letter. That was me reading it. And I was able to find images today
to match everything.
That completely matched everything that was said in there. All the way down to when it said to take them out of their natural state. Like, that was the point. Our natural state is a state of divinity. You know what I'm saying? That's why I moved to the nation the way that I did, because what is put in the teachings is a direct reversal of this. Like, when that last part is what got me, when he was like, I just throw money on a person and they like it, and it's a rush. Weird. But that's what we love, man. Like, we caught into that. Even when we look at how Takeoff that passed, right? He got killed. And we see that constantly. We see men who have no business. Like, what you out here shooting? Like, what is this? Why are we here? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we constantly finding ourselves in the same cycle? But then when it comes to them, the people that are cutting the checks and the people that are making the real money off of it, please believe they not outside shooting no dice outside of no bowling alley or wherever he was at. That ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's a certain lifestyle that we're used to. And when I speak about it, I'm not speaking to criticize because I'm not perfect. But when I read the Willie Lynch letter, the indoctrination, I'm like, yo, it said it in the letter. It said that if you can get them to do this, they will do it on their own for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And we still see it every day. And so when you see people like Kyrie Irving or you see people like Kanye who speak out on the open enemy, it's like you gotta have their back because they're speaking out on what is indoctrinated in us, and you gotta know that they in rooms that you're not in.
Facts.
Facts.
Telling you stuff that you would never, you won't be able to see for yourself.
Yes.
Risking their lives.
And so it's just like when I see our people, when they move past that, when they don't accept the words that are being said to them, like when I see people like Shaq, like Charles Barkley, like y'all afraid, what y'all afraid of? You afraid to be broke? Like, what are you afraid of? Because you should really be afraid of not doing the work of God. And because that's really what the most important thing was. You know, even, you know, with them watchmen in Israel, some of what they were saying, I could understand. Because they was like, at the end of the day, you going to get this money, and guess where it's going to go? It's going to go right back to the white man. Or they kept saying the so-called white man. It's going to go, we don't own nothing. So where you think it's going? All it's going to do is stimulate their pockets more. And now, but for reparations, I still do believe that FBA do deserve reparations. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe, like the minister says, that we must separate and unify. You know what I'm saying? So creating our own streams of income, creating our own sources, our own foundations, things like that, and segregating from this system. But I could understand what they were saying though in that breath of like, I mean, at the end of the day, they own everything. They run everything. And it takes a lot to break the indoctrination that the Willie Lynch indoctrination put into us. There's a clip that I had of Ricky Smiley talking about the emasculation of men, because part of what we see is the objectification of the black woman, right? When we saw that clip of Bernice Burgos with her daughter, and I'm sorry, I was so thrown off. I was like, is this something that we're posting for real? She really posted that. Okay. But what he talked about the emasculation of the black man. Do you have that clip ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I want to hear that.
And once the mother don't like you anymore or get mad at you about anything, all of a sudden she starts to undermine you and pit the kids against you, and it just get crazy.
Brainwashing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And so what happens is, you know that you're being emasculated when the kids totally stop responding to you.
Not responding, and obviously and blatantly disrespecting you.
Absolutely. You know, I had a family member to tell her kids about my kitchen counter, go ahead and wipe the kitchen counter down because you know how he is. Right. Why would you say that? Right. See what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a form of emasculation. Why won't you tell the kids to wipe the counter down? Because the counter's supposed to be wiped down. It was wiped down before you use it, and wiping the counter down after dinner is the right thing to do, as opposed to trying to put it like I'm crazy or I'm OCD.
So they're projecting their insecurities and their anger onto the kid.
Absolutely. And the kids stop responding. I'm not crazy. You understand? And I've seen it for years and years and years and years. And I used to put up with it. But now the first sign of emasculation, I just cut it off. I just cut it off because you can't fight with that. You ain't finna compete with the mother, because most men have rules. Most men have boundaries. We ain't just letting these kids out here, especially if you're a good dad. You're not letting the kids just do what they want to do. So how do you compete with the mother that let them do whatever they want to do and treat the boys like they little boyfriends and treat the daughters like they little homegirls or whatever, kissing them all in the mouth, letting the boys wear 2 earrings, pants sagging, he cute, let's go here, ripping and running, you know, doing all the stuff like y'all friends. And I'm not, and I'm very clear in my house. I am not your friend.
Exactly.
Believe it. And I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't speak to me. You under my roof. You do what I say do or whatever. And we can have a great relationship. Get up, your ass up, cut the grass. I'm not going to be the only one in the house working. You got hair on your balls. Please.
Yo. He's hilarious, but he's right.
Hey, have you ever dealt with that before?
I mean, yeah, I think that we all do, and it's like it's become so much of a norm that it you don't even see nothing wrong with it. Like when he originally said it, I didn't see nothing wrong with what he said when he said, wipe that account off because you know how he is. Mm-hmm. I didn't see nothing wrong with that because I've heard that over and over and over in life. Mm-hmm. Like you better clean that up. You want your mother to. I'm guilty of it. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like I've seen a lot of people do that, and it's like you're not supposed to do that because that puts the kid in a space to feel like they got one up on the other parent. Because it's almost like I'm telling you that that's not right, but do it just because of that other parent. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's not how you do it. You got to have each other's back.
Yes.
The kid should never see that or hear stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that. I'm not gonna front. I did that a lot and didn't realize because my mom used to do that. Like my mom used to always. I'll say this, like, I love my mama so much, but she made so many missteps with me because instead of telling me to just listen to my dad and listen to what he was telling me to do, she was just like that. Like, oh, you know your dad. Oh, let's just do this. Or he would tell me to do something. My dad, it's funny, my dad is very much like the minister and very much like the teachings. Like, that's probably why I like it. Because when I would have conversations with him and he would ask me the definition of the word I used. I don't know, I'd say like, whatever, I forgot what word I said. And he was like, what's the definition of that? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, well, but you need to know what it means before you speak. So after that, he would give me a Reader's Digest, and every week he was like, you need to define all of these vocabulary words, and at the end of the week, you need to give them to me, and I'll pay you for it. And my mom would be like, oh, you don't have to do that. That doesn't make, like, don't worry about that. Don't worry about him. You already have enough to do. Like, she would dismiss it. But I'm like, this dude was really training me. You know what I'm saying?
He's helping you.
Like, that's to tell me to make sure I know what I'm talking about before I speak. Like, he woke me up one morning and called me, and he was like, I want you to get a paper and a pencil. And I was like, okay. It's like 8 something in the morning. He was like, I want you to write down, your time is your life. You waste your time, you waste your life. And he was like, write that down. And I want you to write that down 50 times and then give that to me at the end of the week. And she was just like, why would he do that? Like, she was complaining, but I'm like, dude, that was complete emasculation of this man who was training me and was teaching me right. Because I still can remember that quote to this day. And it makes perfect sense that your time is your life. You waste your time, you waste your life.
Yeah, your ass is asleep at 8 o'clock. He get up. Get up and write this down.
Real talk. Like, get up out the bed. Like, you should not be asleep right now. Like, what are you asleep right now for? You know what I'm saying? He's telling me stuff like that all the time. But, that goes back to that indoctrination that we talk about. Even though we don't realize it, we are there. And part of this stance against this open enemy is that we have to break that indoctrination. Like, we have to. It's imperative right now because I feel like we in a state of emergency because you got our people that don't even realize that you under a spell. Like, you don't even realize it.
Yeah, right.
And it's not to be self-righteous. It's just, it's out of a place of love. Because I have a friend, I'm not perfect, and
really okay.
And on a personal level, there is something that I involve myself in that I should not have been involved in, and it's so contradictory to who I'm supposed to be. And the person was like, oh, well, you talk about everybody else, but look at you a hypocrite. Yes, I'm human. You know what I'm saying? I fall victim to certain things just like everybody else does because I'm in a human experience doing my best, you know what I'm saying, to live this life. But at the end of the day, it's not about being perfect. It's about the striving for that perfection. It's the striving to be upright. It's striving for that. Like, nobody's going to be perfect, but we have to still be aware. It's about if you know it or not. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you don't even know, Yeah. But, so yeah, right now I have some other clips because Sorry, I digressed. My brain just went to a whole nother place. I'm so exhausted. I'm so exhausted. Like, if y'all could understand how tired I am. But part of the reasons why I went to the teachings is because I saw in myself that need for discipline. And I saw that I wanted to be part of the spiritual military. And the more that I've read into the Willie Lynch indoctrination, I saw that the teachings, like whatever Master Fard Muhammad brought to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it was like he brought the antidote to our situation. And constantly, that's what the minister talks about, is that our condition, like we must change our condition. And these teachings help address our condition. They want to take us from our natural state so much. And that open enemy is very smart. You know what I'm saying? And it's everywhere. It's all-seeing, all-knowing. I want to play a clip. The next clip, I believe it should be, play that next clip. I think I know what it is, but I can't really remember because I put this lineup together so many weeks ago. But pause that real quick. Let me line that up real quick. That was a different clip than I thought. The reason why I wanted that clip is kind of, actually skip to the next clip. We don't need to go there. We'll go there in a minute. Y'all, this is so funny. I'm so tired. I've never been so exhausted. Like, can I say one thing, bruh? I'm going to say this to everybody, and this just coming from my heart. Like, if you are a person that you sit at home and you watch people on TV, you watch people on social media, you watch people and you just got nothing but shit to talk, like, I'm going to need you to go into the mirror and I'm going to need you to ask yourself, why am I so bitter? And why am I so jealous? And why am I not inspired?
Why am I a hater?
Why am I not inspired? Why do I not believe in myself? Because the people that take that time to go and do some of the things that I do, some of the things that these organizers do, this is hard. It's taxing. Like, I drove 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I almost want to cry because it's frustrating, because you put a lot of your spirit out here to do what God tells you to do. And so when you've got people that criticize you, that judge, it's like, bruh, it's always the weak and it's always the uninspired that have something to say to the risk takers. And you got to bet on yourself, people. Like, you got to take risks on yourself, because our situation is not going to change if you continuously sit at home complacent and you sit at home judgmental. It's the people that are active, that take risks, that put their hearts on the line, that miss their children. Like, I missed my kids so bad by the time I got there. I wanted to fly. You know what I'm saying? And when you have people that put their life on the line, their soul on the line, like, don't sit at home talking about them. You need to support them, or you need to get up and off your ass and you need to do something. Because as tired as I am, right, I'm so tired. And I'm not just tired physically. I'm tired mentally, spiritually, energetically. But I'm going to still keep doing the work. And the people that do this work, we doing it for y'all. So I hope that that's something I want for our people more than anything, is to, like, stop being so lazy and stop being complacent. Like, stop being comfortable. Because we cannot be comfortable no more. Life is not supposed to be comfortable. Like, I battle with everything to try to be perfect. I'm not perfect, but I'm not comfortable. Because the moment that you're comfortable, that's when we fail. That's when we're gonna fall and we're gonna fold. Like, that uncomfortability is when God is moving through you, and when you make a change. Like, I'm so emotional about it, because I see our people and I just be like, bro, like, I just want so much more for us. And I know that we're capable of that. That's what my dad was teaching me, is like, get up. Why are you sleeping at 8 o'clock?
Right.
Like, you too comfortable. You can't be comfortable. Why are you comfortable with not knowing the definition of the word that you're saying? Right. You got to work. Like, this life is not going to be given to us. And even though we see others whose life is given to us, that's not your life. Like, we have to be 10 toes down. We have to. You got to work out. You got to worry about what you eat. You got to worry about what you think. You know what I'm saying? We can't spend every day partying, because that's not where we are right now. Like, we are really in a spiritual warfare, regardless of what you think. Like, we watching billionaires being massacred. They taking everything from them. You know what I'm saying? What you think they're going to do to you?
Right.
Like, how you think that they're going to treat us? They could change your life in a minute. They could take your whole life away from you in a minute. You know what I'm saying? And there's people that are like, I can't sit there and watch that happen to my people. And I have a lot of friends that I watch, even another close friend of mine, I'm watching him get massacred in the media. And this is someone who's a real soldier for our people. And where do you think these stories come from? They want us to sit here and be complacent. They want us to not have no belief in our people or belief in ourselves. Like, you have to pull that up out of you. Whatever it is that it takes for you to pull out your inspiration or to pull out your drive, you need to do that. Like, for me, the minister did that for me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is for you to do that, even with them watchmen, I'm sure that a lot of them, that's what did it for them. Whatever does that for you, you need to find that. And you need to go for it. Because, like, our people, I cannot sit and watch our people fall like this. And if you are sitting at home and you too busy talking about people, man, you need to look in the mirror, man. You need to find something that inspires you, that brings you to tears. Because we in a different state right now. We in a different place right now. All right, you can go ahead and play that clip.
Come home and teach love for one another. Teach love of the neighbor. Teach us to forgive each other for our acts of evil done under the oppressor's mind that he put in us. I would like to have 10,000 fearless women. You know, I wish I could show you the women in the nation. These are warriors. These are scholars. But they know how to cook. They know how to sew. They know how to rear their children. And they know how, Look at them, brothers and sisters. Now, brothers and sisters, if a sister came up and stood beside them with a mini skirt and a low-cut dress that's beckoning nursing babies, which one of these sisters would somebody say, hey, baby? See, they don't talk like that to our women. And if they do, it's a terrible mistake.
Okay, I love him. Like, I love him. So the reason why I wanted to play that clip is because, first off, I hope that y'all caught that one part where he was like, you ain't gonna talk to him because that'd be a terrible mistake. Right. Don't get it twisted. You ain't about to talk to us crazy, just so you know. But that's the type of energy that I really hope we start to have. I wanted that clip because I wanted to address the reason for modesty. Because I had somebody tell me, they was like, well, you know, they told us what to wear for so long. We supposed to wear what we want to wear. But the reason for the modesty is because, you know, we're the second self of God, you know. So I choose to be covered because it's empowering. But in the same breath, it's because I'm a soldier. You know what I'm saying? And that's my uniform. Right. So, and I'm going to stay strapped. And when he was saying that would be a mistake to talk to a certain type of way, like, we are soldiers. One thing that people, I think, get twisted is that I guess you feel like we just walking around like we nonviolent. No, we're just non-aggressive. Right. But if you come for us, you will receive what you brought to us, and right. and we're not backing down. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Please believe that. There was one more clip I wanted to play, and this was addressing the male aspect of the nation, and then we're gonna close up in a minute. I love this. It's a lot of like. Oh, can you hear it?
Kings, come on. Soldiers for God. Original salute. Elijah. Right front. Farrakhan. Original salute. Elijah. Right front. Farrakhan. Left. Tease. That's what they're afraid of, that organization. You see that, brothers? Yeah. They're afraid of that power. Yeah. They're not afraid of disorganization. Yeah. They're afraid of power, man. Left. Tease. Left. Tease. Left. Tease. Left. Tease. Left. Tease. Left face, left face, left face, left face, left face, left face, left face. How the fruit feel? Yes, sir.
As followers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad,
that's right.
Our work is out here.
Yes, sir.
Our work is with our people.
Yes, sir.
That's what set us apart, but it also is what connects us with other brothers that's doing the work in these streets,
right,
in this city.
We are in Baltimore, Maryland. Come on. From New York to D.C., Baltimore move different, is that right?
That's right.
So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said it's time that we as black men stand up for the hurt of our families and the hurt of our ancestors. He said they died so we can stand up for them. So we can't let our ancestors down, is that right?
That's right.
It is our time to stand up. See, our black woman's been there.
Yeah.
She's been our help me. She's covered us for a long time. It's time for us to stand up, to take back our community. Is that right? See, when you see the men come to the forefront, you see things start to move. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called for 10,000 families. And what you see right here today is a microcosm of that 10,000.
Yes,
and he said the job of that 10,000 is to stand between the gangs and the guns. So you gotta be fearless to stand between guns. Is that right?
Right.
You can't have no punk-defied spirit in your body to go against what you believe is to preserve your own life, but to go out there on behalf of your brother. Because you want to see him, you want to see her have a better day. You want to see them grow up and have grandchildren. That can't happen, brothers and sisters, until we sacrifice.
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said every time you see the black man, he's looking at what? God! He's looking at what? God! You're not a nigga. You a God. You're not a nigga. You're not my nigga. You a God, brother. We brothers of one another. So when we see each other, we say, brother. Right. Because you can't kill your brother, but you can kill a nigga. Come on. Easy to kill a nigga. I air all these niggas out. But look how this sound. I air all these brothers out. It don't even sound the same. Man, I kill you, brother. It don't even sound the same.
That's right.
You can't kill your brother. Because he's of yourself. So flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, we're brothers of one another. That's right, sir. How the fruit feel?
Fire, sir.
Original salute.
Elijah.
Right front.
Farrakhan.
The reason why we call them soldiers is because it's a war going on. It's a war between truth and falsehood. It's a war between righteousness and unrighteousness. So all we want to do is give you the proper ammunition so y'all can be more successful in fighting in this war. Don't let these suits fool you. Just because the brothers in suits don't make them no different from y'all. See, we came to y'all neighborhood to show y'all love. Where Brother Antonio at? Brother Antonio always said, a brother came to him, he said, why y'all wear suits when y'all come to the hood? He said, anytime you go somewhere important, you wear a suit. Come on. You got a business meeting, you wear a suit. You go to a wedding, you wear a suit. Nothing is more important than coming here and showing y'all love. Right? So this is all we do. We want to come so y'all can have y'all young children come out here and play. So we gotta understand, our leader taught us to make our communities a safe and decent place to live. When we do that, we ain't gotta worry about no outside forces killing us. When we heal each other, nobody be able to kill us. All right, thank y'all so much.
All praises be to Allah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. So I got a question. What's your opinion on? Ooh, I'll ask it. What's your opinion on the Nation of Islam?
Who, mine?
Yeah. You can say what you want, and the reason there's a reason I asked this. So please just say however you want to say it, and just be straight up and honest, and it will be received.
I mean, my opinion has changed a little since you've been around, but I don't know. I honestly like I like what they do. I like how they move. Mostly, I like how they move. You know, and I like how everyone that speaks that's down, you know, sounds intelligent, at least knows what they talking about. You understand what I'm saying? I do feel like it would be it's great for our people, but it would be even better to me if it wasn't that you had to believe in what they believe in. I feel like it seems more like a religion. It is a religion, but it seems more like if you're not of that religion, then it's not gonna help. It's not gonna serve you. When if they took that way broader, like I heard somebody ask, how could we how could we work with y'all? How could we work together? The thing is I feel like if that movement actually did embrace people outside of that culture and that race, that we could help each other more, because y'all have the right idea on how things should be done. And if a Christian, if Christians can't be involved, then it will never really help all of our people. That's how I feel. I feel like if they took that broader and made like a United Nations type thing, like where it's like, all right, you can get with some Christian leaders or whatever, and just teach them at least how to move the way you move, and have them out, do. You see how he taught why they dress like that? Teach that to the Christians. Teach that to the Jehovah's Witnesses. Teach that so that all of our people could move in unison, even though y'all might not believe in the same religion. I think that a lot of what they got going on is really what we need as far as unification and organization. He just said it. He said we organize. They want us to be unorganized. And a lot of the other movements are unorganized. That one is mostly organized, but it's just them. It doesn't appear to be for all our people. It's just for people who believe in what they believe in. You know what I'm saying? And you do have to be like-minded. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that there could be a way to figure out how to put it together with all people, so that we really could have some change.
Yeah.
You
Yes. I agree. And now the thing is that's beautiful, and once you really do dive in, like the minister has spoken at churches and everything. But I know what you're saying.
It's a little different than just...
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. And that's one of the things that I hold for my mission, is that, even though I'm still processing because things have happened so many weeks that it's taken a longer time. But part of my mission is that all of our people understand these teachings. And you don't have to be a Muslim to understand the teachings. Right. It's really... the reason why Master Fard Muhammad gave this information to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was to change our condition. You know what I'm saying? And to help us, because we were a lost tribe. And with the Minister Farrakhan reinstating the Nation of Islam, now being a student of Minister Farrakhan, his study guides are study guides for self-improvement, for community development. You know what I'm saying? So the teachings of the Minister Farrakhan is to develop us as people. And what I don't know how people feel about what I'm about to say, but the newer generation, that is our job now. We've already seen everyone go out into the community and giving out the final call and all that, but our generation, our job is to integrate as many people as possible, no matter what you are, no matter what your faith is. Understand that these teachings are here to help all of us. And if you didn't choose to be part of the military, that's okay, because I look at us as the spiritual military. I chose to join the military. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has to be in the military, but I know with every part of my soul that this is what will help us become better. And so I asked you that for a reason, because I wanted to hear, what is it that stops people from wanting to take the teachings? You don't have to be Muslim. If you drink, you do your thing. I would prefer our people not just be drunk all day. But if you have a glass of wine, that's you. But it's we are extreme. It does seem extreme, because there's no drinking, there's no smoking, there's no fornication. There's a lot of no. You know what I'm saying? But that's because that's the type of discipline that we have to have as soldiers. But as far as the understanding of why not to do that, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to spend your days drunk and high all day. How productive will you be? And then if you are drunk and high all day, how easy is it for you to be infiltrated? You know what I'm saying? If your women are constantly exposed, how easy is it for them to be infiltrated? It's really a protection. And once I broke down the really Lynch indoctrination, I'm line by line, I see how the teachings address it, because there's a part in the letter where it says the only way that this could be changed is if a phenomenon comes. And if that phenomenon comes, I'm going to paraphrase it, it was we must demonize it. We must change their view of it. And that's exactly what they do to the minister. That's exactly what they do to the nation. You know what I'm saying? Because really, you don't have to really have the same views as us. We just want you to get it. You know what I'm saying? Just get the message. But even with the minister, that's why I put that clip there. There's a part, there's a clip I had that I wanted to play. We don't have to play it though. But at a Savior's Day, he talks about this constantly, about if there are Jews that say they are Jews and they are not, they'll be in the synagogue of Satan, right? This is in the Bible. But there was an interview that he had on 60 Minutes, and Chris Wallace is like, oh, you know, you say things that are anti-Semitic. And he's like, I quoted the Bible, like Revelations 2:9. You dig? But it just goes to show, like, everything that they do is to demonize and to make it so that our people look away from it. And so that was part of the indoctrination itself too. Anything that's positive, anybody that's positive, even with, you know, some of the people that are super, I don't want to bring it up because I don't want to feed negativity, but even with some of the people that I know personally that are soldiers for our people, they put shit out there, or they put stuff out there to defame them. So anytime, watch. I mean, I know you know, anytime you see someone that's good for us, don't they have something negative that pulls up every time? So in closing, because we're going to go in a minute, I don't want to go too long, but I hope that what people are seeing through this process, because I did my processing open, and really this is something I would have preferred to do privately and then just come out like, okay, but I want people to see that this is not something far removed from yourself. I'm still myself. I'm still me. I just might have my head covered. I probably just not gonna, like, you know, you ain't gonna see my thigh, you know what I'm saying? Right. But I'm still me. You can still converse with me. Brother Islam, you converse with him. You can still converse with him. Brother Ben X, you can still converse with them. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we so far removed. But I want people to see this and see the change and see the discipline and see that, like, it don't have to be something that's alien, because it's something that is helpful for us. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. We're gonna close. I low-key want to play that song again just to close with, just because I feel like
look, a 5-minute song.
No, we don't have to do that, but I just feel empowered. So yes, I'm gonna see you guys next week. We will have more to come. I think I'm going to bring some. I might have a guest. I might just have a guest next week. I met a few people that I feel like I might want to come on and have them talk. But for now, you know, guys, keep your eyes open. Keep your mind open. Stay aware, and also learn to stay on code. Understand what being on code is. Because if you can't sacrifice and you can't sacrifice for nothing, like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? What's the point of being here? All right, so I'll see y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.
You're now tuned in to Black